So guys, this is going to be a bit of a more serious video for obvious reasons with the climate and everything going on in the US. Before we get to that, just to clear up some housekeeping, we do have videos in the pipeline. We think we're going to stick to a 3 videos a week schedule. And we actually want to start that earlier this week, but, you know, with the climate and everything going on right now, we just decided to take a break from that, and we had to make sure that this video came out first. Probably because this is the most important video that I probably have ever made, and probably you will ever make. At least just for me, I just knew that this had to come out before anything else. We can't be 2 black guys on this platform, very very small platform right now. But it wouldn't sit right with me if we just went back to jokey, making all these laughy videos. When that's not what I'm feeling right now. Those videos will come. Those videos will be the pipeline. But right now, we're gonna talk about something a bit more serious, something a bit more close to home, even though not literal home, but I'm talking about communal home that we have with our fellow black brothers and sisters, and that's with the lynching and the murdering of black men and women by police. Philando Castile, from way back when, Mike Brown, Tamir Rice, Ahmaud Arbery, and now with the death of George Floyd. Not to mention that, and even that video in Central Park with that man being, when the man asked the woman to leave her leash on her dog, and then she threatened, she tried to call the police, saying a black man was attacking her because she knew that would get what she wanted, which would be the death of a black man, or at least scare off a black man, using his race against him, right? Literally for the first couple, honestly the first while, I didn't talk to anybody. Like, I was just really depressed and really down about reading all this kind of stuff. For the record, I didn't watch any of the videos. For me, that's just too traumatic. And that's the one thing that came to mind. I realized, like, this stuff is actually traumatic. Like, I've lost family members recently, and this has affected me more than the loss of some family members. Traumatic is the only word. Because when you see somebody that looks like you being murdered because they look like you, that's the only reason they're being murdered, because they look like you. Of course, you see yourself being murdered. Yeah. You see your brother being murdered. You see your father being murdered. You see your mother being murdered. You're seeing everyone being murdered. So, yeah, I'm pissed off. Yeah, I'm angry. And I'm also tired of having to explain to white people that racism exists. I'm tired of having to explain to white people that about white privilege. I'm tired of having to explain to white people about all this stuff. Honestly, I'm done. I'm literally done. Because how much more obvious and more plain does it have to be? If you're choosing not to listen to black people, you've made your choice. Like I'm not gonna try to convince you of that anymore. And then as far as to go to discuss the riots, I think I have to make it all clear, because some people with some of the posts I made on social media got twisted by thinking I was for people rioting and violence. Of course I'm not for people rioting and violence. Of course I'm not for that. But at the same time, I think it's incredibly disingenuous. But the amount of people that keep talking about the violence and the riots, but not talking about the source of the violence and the riots. You don't give a damn about the riots or the violence. You don't. You don't care. I genuinely think you don't care about the riots and the violence. Because if you did, you'd be more concerned about finding a solution how to stop them than have them to happen. You people seem to forget that this isn't happening in an isolated one instance. This has been happening for 500 years. You first take black people from their homeland, you move them to a whole nother country, enslave them for 300 to 400 years, and then you continually oppress them till this day. While meanwhile raping and destroying their homeland to the point where they have to feel...
Society can't flourish.
Yeah, society can't flourish there. And you're making us feel like we have to live here and being oppressed and being killed by the people that brought us here.
I can't bring myself to watch most of the videos. Like, I start it and I see like Udi's face, or I see Kamaju. I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't. And I have to stay off social media because I think what's irritating me most about this whole situation is that, okay, racism isn't an isolated event. Racism is almost like a sinister, like ooze that's permeated through I don't know how many different sections of society. Obviously, the police force. I think what's worse is that I feel like a lot of people are using this time to get political. Where it's like, well, you shouldn't do this in riots. You shouldn't do, you shouldn't, this isn't like, why are people hating on white people all of a sudden? We don't have any privilege. This is like, I don't think it was ever about white people in specific. I think it was just everyone against racism.
Yeah.
And it's just very frustrating seeing people, especially on the far right, that just say, like, this is not the way to handle things. This is not gonna achieve anything. When there was Colin Kaepernick kneeling, and there's always gonna be people complaining. There are always gonna be people complaining, no matter what they do. And I don't think you're in a position to tell people how to protest or what they should do when you're not the ones being oppressed. That's my opinion on it.
Of course, I'm not for people burning down buildings and stuff like that. I'm not. So I probably have to make it clear that I'm not for that. But again, to not acknowledge the reason why it's happening is ridiculous. People been peacefully protesting. So don't come to me now. Why did people protest? We tried that. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So to see people get murdered in the street, and then people have to let out their rage and their anger just to bring attention to them. Again, I'm not for it, but it makes logical sense. If you keep kicking people while they're down, and every single time they ask for help, they ask for any other recourse to make sure it stops happening, you still let it happen, you let it happen, you still kill people over and over and over. Let me be clear, this is only the ones that are being recorded. That's the thing people seem to forget. These are the only ones being recorded. How much more thousands of black men are probably dying without any recording? Oh, so-and-so went missing. You know when once a black person goes missing, they're just gone. Like, you know, we're not searching for them.
Yeah.
So, this is only the ones being recorded. So when I see that, I see like 10, 15, 100 more people being killed. Because I acknowledge that typically criminal acts that heinous are typically done behind closed doors. They're typically done at 2 a.m, a black guy gets pulled over. And then they say, oh, he was reaching for my gun. But it's only the cops word against his.
Who's dead?
So, yeah, I just, if you want the rioting to stop, I'm with you. I want the rioting to stop too. But also, if the rioting is the only thing that's going to stop black people being getting killed, so be it.
Yeah.
If rioting is the only thing, because this is the first time I've seen any, like, Nike's coming out and saying all these businesses and corporations are coming out against racism. I haven't really seen that ever happening.
Yes.
So, the rioting is working to a certain extent. You can't deny that. I'm not for it, but it's working to a certain extent. And you really push people to a corner where you give them no option. They have no money, they have no resources, they have no recourse to actually fix the solution. They peacefully protest, you don't like it.
Yeah.
So
it's like, this is all they can do. And it's like, I saw some tweet where someone's like, well, MLK didn't do this. MLK was way more peaceful. The man was assassinated.
Yeah.
So it's like, people are going to do whatever they have in their power. And again, these people are left with nothing.
Exactly.
They have zero... everything they try is futile. So, I mean, you can't blame them.
No, you can't. Yeah. It's, also this kind of stuff makes you aware of the racism in your own life, because funny, like my wife always mentions how I'm able to compartmentalize super easy. Like I'm very good at compartmentalizing, and like I have to. That's how I have to function. Because when, for example, I've had customers that are racist. I have to work. I have to do my job with a racist for a racist person.
Yeah.
So I have to be able to block that out to get my job done to make sure I get paid at the end of the day. I've been denied work because of the color of my skin.
Yeah.
I've been questioned in my own building if I live here because of the color of my skin. The own apartment, which I pay for on time every month, I'm being questioned if, do you live here? Been here for over a year. The building's not that big. So don't don't think that just because it's in the States, now we're blessed in Canada, we're fine. I'm not comparing my struggle to anybody else. But the thing for me is easy for me because I can handle it. I'm probably gonna have children within the next couple of years. And to think of a world that my child might be just murdered just because they look like me. Or just because they look like somebody else. That should have, could have, might have done something. I'm not sure what's going to take it to get peace. I'm not sure what's going to take to get stuff done, but I think the only thing I thought of so far was accountability. There should be independent review body judging the police force. It shouldn't be the police force judging the police force.
Yeah.
Because it's in their very own incentive to make sure that they don't get caught. So I think there needs to be legislation put into place that an independent committee judges the police force in any interaction between the police and the individuals that's gone awry. I understand police force is messy. I understand that sometimes there's gray areas. But we're not talking about no gray area. We're not.
We're talking about 9 minutes. Really? Really?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't bring myself to watch the whole video, but it's like, and same with Ahmad. They would have, it would have completely gone under the radar if they didn't think the video would have actually exonerated the people that just murdered a guy that was just jogging. I think independent review in the police force, and I think just in general, I feel like a lot of people just need to learn how to just learn to listen, just instead of, you don't always have something to say. Like, if you benefit from white privilege, you don't have to have a commentary. You don't have to have a say of what you think is right in the black community. No one's asking for that. No one's asking you. No one is asking for your opinion on race, on what black people feel every day. No one's asking for that. All we're asking for is just to be heard and just to be listened to and just to be understood.
I remember, growing up, I've always been, loud and outgoing, and somehow that made me more black than compared to when I was quiet and reserved. And growing up my entire life, I didn't want to grow out my hair. I tried to seem as white as possible just to, fit in. Who am I kidding, man? Look at me, man. And when I just see people getting murdered with a quickness, it's just it don't matter what I do, man. They're gonna get me anyway. So let me die as black as I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me just be me. But the fact that I have to even go through that, being black every day is literally getting up and telling yourself you love yourself, because when you get out that door, the whole world is gonna tell you you should hate yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think any white person can possibly understand what that's like. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Because in your guys' lives, in white people's lives, when something goes wrong, you can at least maybe point to something else. You never have to be like, oh, was that because of the color of my skin? You don't have to say that. When you lose a job, you can be like, oh, I just lost a job because I just didn't work hard enough.
Yeah.
But I always have the question in the back of my mind: did I lose a job because I wasn't good enough, or do I lose a job because I don't look like you?
Yeah. I can't even count the number of times I've been overqualified for something. Done an interview, and it's like I didn't get it. Okay, maybe it's personal, but after a while, it's like,
yeah,
I can't be a dishwasher. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and you said you've had run-ins with customers, run-ins with patients. I work in a hospital, and you get people, oh, can someone else do this? Can I get a woman? It's like, I know, it's like, you just know.
yeah.
You just know.
I feel like now, the only thing that's really keeping me going is the fact that there are a loud amount of people that are siding with black people, that are understanding of everything. There's of course a very loud group of people who are disagreeing, but
It's always going to be that way.
it's always going to be that way. But as much as I hate it, the fact that corporations are getting involved in saying they're siding with black people, I mean, if that's what it takes to make sure we be liberated, so be it, man. But don't think that racism isn't real. Don't think it doesn't exist. And to all my brothers and all my sisters, all my black people, this it's okay if you don't feel strong right now. It's okay. What we are going through is a collective trauma. That's what we're going through. That's fine. If you need to reach out to somebody, reach out to somebody. But it's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel hopeless. It's okay to feel those feelings. But once you're ready to pick yourself up and get to work and do what we can to make the world a better place, let's get to work, because we've only got this life, right? So let's go live it the best and the blackest we can, because the white man don't really care about us, obviously. And to all our white people that watch our videos and stuff like that, just understand that that this is a rough time for everybody. It's a rough time for black people. And just be willing to listen to black people. You don't have to come up with a witty soundbite and a witty punchline and try to comment on everything. It's okay just to be quiet sometimes. And if you're going to be critical of black people and start judging black people, take a second to actually look and read history before you do so. Because you just sound idiotic. You sound completely unempathetic. Because you're busy criticizing a patient for screaming out in pain because there's a doctor stabbing them. You're busy criticizing the reaction instead of looking at the cause. Anyways, I'm tired. I'm done talking about this for now, at least. It's been literally all week. I'm tired, so do you have anything to say?
You pretty much wrapped it up. I was just going to say, you just want to be heard.
One snippet of a song that SA made that was completely made independently before this stuff even started happening a couple weeks ago. But it's really poignant, it really fits the situation going on right now. So we'll play that, and we'll be back with more videos shortly. They'll be a bit more upbeat, but we felt like this needed to be addressed first before we go back to our regularly scheduled programming. Take care. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. And Yeah, deuces.
Doesn't mean I have the time. Skin is getting thick, weighing heavy on my spine. On my walk home, people actively avoid me. This is broad day, not the middle of the night. Only wave I get is a flag that's Confederate. I just keep on walking, got my business to mind. Only time I even get to think about my heritage is at home when I fall asleep and it's quiet. Why you gotta act so awkward? I've already code switched for you. Why you gotta act like we're relatives? Now I'm more likely to ignore you. I mean, we've barely passed greeting. Jumping to conclusions so quickly, it doesn't matter who I'm meeting. I'm held to a higher standard like a 6B. I'm just here to treat the sickly. Are you sure there was someone in the back here with me? I just want to do this quickly. I don't need another person acting too rash, not itchy. I remember thinking one day I'ma walk home all alone and the fire will try and arrest me. I want to make it past 50. I pray that you stunned like Whitney. I know you don't want to sound racist. Please start this conversation on another basis. You look so friendly. Why are your words so abrasive? Yes, I'll take your x-ray. I don't do your blood work, but it doesn't mean I have the patience.